It seemed like the content creator landscape was really terrified the other day when TikTok went away and immediately came back again. And now everybody's asking, is it really that safe to be posting there anymore? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the Home Studio Hangout podcast. I am your host, Drew. Here to just do a little bit of a short topic today, talking about TikTok recently getting shortly banned and removed from the US, and then within, I believe it was like 12 hours or so, brought back and available. I think for a lot of people, you can't re-download it if you erased it from your phone, but like on my phone, I still have it. And a lot of things that I've seen, I went through and scrolled through TikTok like the day before it went away for a little bit. And a lot of it was, I saw a lot of people talking about, oh, this might be it. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Thank you for all of this stuff that, all the things that they've brought me here on TikTok. And it's been super cool to see a lot of the creators come together. But as a music producer, as a person trying to build some sort of, home studio business, if that's what you're kind of going for, or maybe you're on the artist side and you're trying to build some sort of like artist longevity, it's a little worrying that TikTok can just go away like that. And even though it is back, it's a reminder, I think, that a lot of these things are kind of fleeting. These platforms have the ability to just, at a moment's notice, go away. And if you've built your platform fully on one space, on one platform, you are at the whims of that platform. It's a little terrifying, to be honest, especially because I can think of like a lot of TikTok creators that haven't really started making the switch to being multi-platform, and a lot of them are just like only on TikTok, and which is fine. But from like a business perspective, like we want to be in multiple places. We want to make sure that we're where everybody can potentially find us. And we want to be posting to all the platforms. If you're making it for one, just go ahead and post it to them all. Why not? Obviously, each platform is slightly different, and there's some nuance to that conversation for sure. But at the same time, like I'm doing a podcast, most of my podcast clips, if not all of my podcast clips, are going to go to every single platform, vertical and horizontal. Obviously, you're listening to this right now, maybe through Apple Podcasts or Spotify. By the way, if you're doing one of those, leave a review for me. That'd be super helpful. Or maybe you're watching this on YouTube, which is, another option for a platform. But then from the short form side of things, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, those are going to be like your main normal platforms. And I know a lot of people will post to X. I've seen a lot of people posting to Threads lately, which has been really interesting to watch. And I've seen a lot of people posting on Blue Sky. If you're into that kind of tech space, I've seen a lot of tech people go there. But I think at the point I'm trying to make is that this is rented land. We are not owning the space that we are posting all of these things on, these audiences that we're capturing to try to build a business on, or maybe like get clients through. We don't own those audiences. We don't own the place. We are working off of rented land, and we need to remember that. And this is a really good reminder for everyone that, if you're not posting everywhere, make a plan to start. Whether TikTok stays or not, I'm not sure. And it seems like a point of contention for a lot of people. If you're going to go over to Red Note, just, make sure that you're posting there, but also like all the other places where your people are, where your potential client is. And I think we're going to do an episode on like client structure and potential client like business structure and stuff, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people may not understand. And I would love to be able to make sure that if you guys are trying to build a home studio business or some sort of like music career, that we have these discussions and make sure that you're targeting the right kind of person with your content. I say that to say, let's take a look at what we're posting, where and when we're. Let's take a look at where we're posting and what we're Let's take a look at where we're posting and make sure that we are posting, everywhere that the people that we're looking for might want to find us, instead of being so locked into one place. I know a lot of people may know this. I wanted to give this as a reminder because this whole thing that's happened has been a massive reminder to me that, once again, we are working off of rented land and audiences. So, and there was a video I watched recently. Let me find it. I'm going to try to link it in the description of this episode as well. I want to say it was at the end of the year or maybe beginning of this year. He did a video on the platforms that he is going with and putting more time into and putting less time into. My evidence-based guide to making money online tier list. I'll make sure that the video I'm posting is the one, but he tier listed all of the content platforms that his team is going to be focusing on in the next year, kind of moving forward, which I thought was really interesting to see from him. This guy puts out like an insane amount of content, has a massive team behind him, and not necessarily to the whims of the platforms. He wants to be very self-contained, and so we want to kind of mimic some of the things that he's doing in the sense of like where he's trying to focus. And strangely enough, he had TikTok really low. Actually, he had TikTok in his like DF tier. Mainly, I think it was DF. It could have been B. I don't remember. But he had it lower than Instagram. He had it lower than YouTube and YouTube Shorts. He had it lower than, I believe, like email strategy and like newsletters and stuff like that, which is a great way to keep get your audience off platform and be able to, if everything shuts down, still retain some sense of audience. That was a really good video. I'll make sure to link that below if you want to check it out. It's probably about an hour-ish long. A lot of his videos are. So, but yeah, just wanted to take this time to do a reminder that we are somewhat beholden to the platforms in a sense, and that we should take our time and effort to make sure that if something crazy happens, like the major platform, especially in our industry, getting shut down, that we are not fully going to just lose everything involved in that. Hard pivot real quick. If you are a part of the book club and you are reading through the book that we're reading right now, which is Andrew Wong's book, Make Your Own Rules, I am going to post a form or maybe in the comment section here, but I'm going to post a thing on Instagram about giving some of your takeaways from that book for our book club episode next week. And I'm very excited about that. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and make sure you're doing that, or you can respond to this. If you're on Spotify, there is a section I will make sure to put book club takeaways as it, but you can like comment on the episode or leave like a comment to each episode, or what did you get out of this episode or something like that. I'm going to rephrase it to what are you learning from the book or something like that. And I want to make sure that I have the ability to get some takeaways from what you guys are doing, Or I'm also going to drop it in the Discord. If you aren't in our Discord, the link will be in the description for that if you want to join. It's super cool, having good conversations there. And yeah, super thankful for you listening to this episode of the Home Studio Hangout podcast. Much appreciate you. We'll see you next week for our book club episode. Peace. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Home Studio Hangout podcast. If you could take the time to like, subscribe. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other audio platform, go ahead and make sure you're subscribed, and also leave a rating and a review. It helps the show get out to new people, and we're trying to grow every single week. Once again, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Home Studio Hangout podcast, and we'll see you next week.